Anglerfish. At first glance, it looks like something a horror movie director sketched during a nightmare, but believe it or not, it didn't evolve to scare people. It evolved to survive. You see, thousands of feet below the ocean's surface, food is so scarce that wasting energy on a chase simply isn't an option. So the anglerfish came up with a much smarter plan. Why run after food when you can convince food to come to you? Growing from its head is a tiny glowing lure, basically the deep sea's version of a giant free buffet sign. One moment, a curious fish swims over, thinking it just got incredibly lucky. The next, it's disappeared into a mouth that looks like it has more teeth than common sense. As if that wasn't bizarre enough, the female can grow more than 60 times larger than the male. When he finally finds her, he bites onto her body and never lets go. Over time, he slowly fuses with her, sharing her bloodstream until he becomes little more than a permanent organ whose only job is reproduction. He stops being a separate creature entirely. Goblin shark. If regular sharks are the ocean's action heroes, the goblin shark is the unexpected jump scare no one sees coming. At nearly 400 million years old, this species has barely changed, earning it the nickname living fossil, which is a polite way of saying nature looked at it millions of years ago and thought, yep, that's weird enough. Its long, flattened snout isn't just there to make it look unsettling. It's packed with special sensors that can detect the tiny electrical signals given off by other animals, even in complete darkness. But the real nightmare begins when dinner gets close. Instead of swimming after its prey, the goblin shark fires its jaws forward like a spring-loaded trap, grabbing fish before they even realize what's happening. It's basically the ocean's version of a surprise boxing glove, except the glove is full of razor-sharp teeth. Thankfully, it doesn't need to use that trick very often. Living deep below the surface means meals are few and far between, so every attack has to count. When your face can literally launch at dinner, missing simply isn't an option. It's survival failure. Vampire squid. For a creature called the vampire squid, you'd expect it to spend its nights hunting for blood. In reality, it's one of the least aggressive animals in the ocean's deepest zones. Its dramatic name comes from the dark, cloak-like webbing stretched between its arms. When threatened, it flips that webbing over its body like a vampire pulling a cape over its face. It's certainly a great performance, but it's mostly just bluffing. Unlike true squid, the vampire squid rarely chases live prey. Instead, it survives on what's known as marine snow, tiny bits of dead plants, animals, and waste that slowly drift down from the surface. Think of it as nature's slow-motion food delivery system, except it never stops falling. Using two long, sticky filaments, it patiently collects these floating scraps before rolling them into bite-sized meals. But down here, even waiting for food is a full-time survival strategy. Not every monster lurking in the darkness is a ruthless predator. Some are just professional scavengers with a talent for dramatic entrances. Barrel-eye fish. Most fish have eyes on the outside of their heads. The barrel-eye fish looked at that idea and decided to put them inside instead. At first glance, it doesn't seem all that unusual, but look a little closer and you'll notice the top of its head is completely transparent, like a fighter jet cockpit made of glass. Those green, glowing orbs inside, they're actually its eyes. For years, scientists thought the barrel eye could only stare straight up, searching for the faint silhouettes of prey swimming above. Then they discovered something even stranger. Its eyes can actually rotate. That means it can look upward to spot food, then swivel its eyes forward to track it as it moves in for the catch. It's like having built-in security cameras that never stop scanning the room. So the question is, how does something like this even evolve in the first place? In a world where even the smallest shadow above could mean food, or survival, the barrel-eye fish didn't evolve something strange. It evolved something necessary: black swallower. Most predators know when a meal is too big to handle. The black swallower never got that memo. At just a few inches long, it looks fairly ordinary for a deep-sea fish, until it gets hungry. Instead of settling for prey its own size, it will happily attack fish that are 2, 3, or even 4 times longer than itself. It sounds impossible until you see its secret weapon. Its stomach stretches like an oversized duffel bag, expanding far beyond what you'd think should be physically possible. Once the prey is inside, there's no chewing involved. It simply swallows the whole thing, head first. Of course, greed has its consequences. If the meal is too large to digest before bacteria begin breaking it down, gases build up inside the prey, turning the black swallower into an accidental balloon that slowly floats toward the ocean's surface. Sometimes, in the deep sea, taking one bite too many can literally be your last. Frilled shark. If you ever wondered what a shark looked like 80 million years ago, the frilled shark is probably your best answer. While most sharks evolved into fast, streamlined hunters, this one barely changed at all. It's often called a living fossil, and one look explains why. Its long, eel-like body twists through the water, while nearly 300 needle-sharp teeth line its mouth in neat little rows. It doesn't exactly scream friendly, but unlike the lightning-fast great white, the frilled shark is surprisingly patient. Instead of chasing prey across the ocean, it quietly drifts through the darkness until the perfect moment arrives. Then, with a sudden lunge, it snaps up fish and squid before they have time to react. Scientists even believe it may bend its body like a snake to launch itself forward, turning its entire body into one giant spring. Turns out, when your design has worked for millions of years, there's really no reason to update it. Fangtooth fish. If there were an award for the most intimidating smile in the ocean, the fangtooth fish would win without much competition. Its body is only about the size of your hand, but its teeth are so ridiculously large that they don't even fit inside its mouth. Instead, special pockets in the roof of its head give the fangs somewhere to rest whenever it closes its jaws. It's basically nature admitting we may have overdone it. Despite looking like a tiny underwater monster, the fangtooth isn't interested in picking fights. It spends most of its life waiting in the darkness for fish or shrimp to wander within striking distance. And when they do, those oversized teeth make sure there's no second chance. The funny part is that baby fangtooth fish look nothing like the adults. Youngsters have much smaller teeth and a completely different appearance, so different that scientists once thought they were an entirely separate species. Growing up is awkward for everyone. Some just end up looking like the deep sea's version of a horror movie villain. Viperfish. Last but certainly not least, meet the viperfish. If patience were an Olympic sport, this fish would take home the gold. It can spend hours drifting almost motionless through the water, barely wasting a single bit of energy. Then, in the blink of an eye, everything changes. Using its flexible body, the viperfish explodes forward and snaps its jaws shut before its target has time to react. Its impossibly long fangs aren't designed to chew. They're designed to trap. Once those needle-like teeth sink in, slippery fish have almost no chance of breaking free. Even more impressive, the viperfish can unhinge its jaws and stretch its stomach, allowing it to swallow prey much larger than you'd expect from a fish its size. But that's only half the trick. Rows of tiny light-producing organs run along its body, helping it disappear into the faint light above while making it almost invisible to anything swimming below. It's the underwater equivalent of a sniper, quiet and patient. But if creatures like this already exist in the depths, what else do we still not know about the ocean? The ocean may be full of bigger predators, but few are built for a strike this clean and this final.